Yo, what's up? The new Forest Shadows update is much closer than expected because the test server went online today, meaning we can expect the update to go live next week. So yeah, very good. Also, we released the preliminary patch notes, meaning everything that will be included in the update is already written down. Now I'm gonna go over all of it, well actually the most important things, because half of it isn't really important, and show you all of the stuff and also my results from testing it in the test server and playing a few test games. So first of all, for those not sure whether to buy the 2 new squads, you can test them here in the test server. Now, since it takes a while to download it and so on, I'm just gonna do it for you so you don't have to do the work. You can go here, and first thing you see is, well, the perks, very important. They only have normal partisan level perks, so just +6, meaning they're level 2 soldiers, which is, I would say, the main weakness they have, because playing on BR5 they're directly competing with perfectly equipped and perked BR5 assaulter squads, which have access to +12 points. So and 7 soldiers and assault rifles, whereas these only have 5 soldiers, no engineers, no radio man, and only weak perks. So this is the biggest problem, and for this squad it isn't even much of a problem because the weapon itself is very strong. But for the British squad it's a problem because that one is very weak, as you're gonna see. So first of all, how do they look? This is how do they look, and then the weapon. Let's see how the recoil is. Yep, very low recoil if you control it. Yep, yeah, this weapon is definitely playable, and the best thing is that enemy soldiers won't react to you, so you will basically always get 2-3 kills before the enemy starts shooting back. Yep, this is how a premium or event squad should be. Very unique, very special, very fancy, and also very nice. And this is how the recoil is if you don't control it. So yeah, the German squad is definitely very good and very strong. Not much to say about it, it's simply good. The actual problem comes with the British squad, because this one, despite being 1 BR lower, is, I would say, BR3 from its power level, not BR4. Because, first of all, you get a Thompson, with all of the Thompson downsides, meaning slow muzzle velocity most importantly. But also, look at this. There's no iron sight. Like, there's no little iron pin that shows you where you have to aim. And the recoil is much higher, so if the STG had this issue, I wouldn't mind, because the STG has very low recoil. But this weapon has quite high recoil, as you can see. Yep, so it's very hard to aim with it. Very hard to aim. And it's simply much weaker than the STG. Is it worth it on BR4? Yeah, this is the problem. If it had good perks, I would say, okay, the perks make it, the perks compensate for the weakness, but without additional perks, it's simply way too weak. Also, you're forced to use this knife, nerfing the squad even more, because what are partisans about? Well, being fast and charging quickly from one point to the other. With this knife, you can't charge because you can't take it off. And Gaijin clearly stated they won't change the situation that you can't charge with everything. Meaning, you're literally double nerfed with this squad. Yep, it will get an additional bonus to sprint factor, but it still is worse than just charging. So, yeah, like, this squad is sadly very weak. Like, very weak. The knife is an issue, the horrible sights are an issue, and the BR placement is an issue. All of these problems would be fine if it dropped down to BR3. It would be also cool, it would be fine if the squads received +6 green perks, yeah, but in the current iteration, the British squad sadly is way too weak. Alright, now to the main attraction. Well, out of all of the new stuff, the clear winner is the Japanese, because they received things that they absolutely needed. Most importantly, planes that can actually deal with American planes and kill American tanks, because Japanese simply could not do it outside of BR5. And the Soviets, because they got one of the best weapons, most fun weapons in the game now. They now have the, well, silenced Ppsh. And here's the great thing about this gun. It's actually a perfect combination of strength and fun. Now, obviously, everyone loves silenced weapons, since they're cool and you can roleplay with them and so on. Also, you can see the new firing effects. Now, here's the big advantage of this weapon over almost all other silenced weapons in the game, especially the silenced PPD. PPD Brahmet it's called, which is basically the same but with a much slower fire rate. Due to the silencer, enemies won't shoot at you. The problem is, if your weapon is very slow at killing enemies, it doesn't matter. But this weapon, thanks to its insane fire rate, is actually in a perfect state. Because this fire rate means you will actually kill your enemies. And they most often won't have time to shoot back. So yeah, this is ridiculously fun. This weapon is exactly how it should be. Like, exactly how a science weapon should be. And ironically enough, this is the only SMG out of all guns in Enlisted that can keep up with the assault rifles on BR5. I wouldn't play a single SMG at BR5, but this one I will. This one I definitely will, because it's simply ridiculously fun. It's ridiculously fun, and the fire rate is fun. Assault Ppsh, the fast fire rate is what makes them cool and special. The silencer is great, and yeah, I can't wait to use this. And guess what? Thanks to this weapon, you don't even need any special partisans. You can just put it on assaulters and just use them like commando squads, because yeah, you get the same stealth effect as the British commandos, but without all the downsides. So yeah, this is the biggest winner out of all. Out of all weapons, this is by far the one that will have the main impact in terms of fun, because this is just ridiculously fun. So yeah. Now, obviously, more people will play Soviets 2 now due to the new map, which is, by the way, extremely good from what I've seen. It looks perfect. It looks exactly like the architecture should look. So, very immersive, very fun, very cool. And this is exactly the gift that the Soviets needed to actually enjoy the new map. Then, the son of Carbine. Now, here's the short story. Similar to the Thompson, we get... well, look at this. Yep, we don't get any iron sights in their normal way. So, yep, this is just what? This is very annoying to use. At least the recoil is, yeah, the recoil will be lower effectively because you can put it on assaulter force once again, who have infinite recoil reduction. So that's not a problem. But yeah. This SMG is, ironically enough, yeah, it has too many nerfs. I mean, it's still strong, but it's not like the big game changer people expected. But yeah, it's at least good, and it's quite flavorful. Now, yeah, it's definitely playable. It's definitely playable, though it's not as strong as people expected, because some people were claiming that this would be way too strong, and no, it's not. It's simply just okay, and it's annoying to use. Also, fun fact, it's literally Sawoff at the front and at the back. What the hell? Okay. Now, okay, so far this. Then the solo turn. The last month's Battle Pass gun got downranked to BR1. Yes, finally, because this was simply unplayable for BR2. The GRB is better in almost every way, especially much more reliable, much faster, and the solo turn usually gets you killed before you can actually start shooting. Yeah, so yeah, this is good. At BR1 it's actually properly placed. It's still annoying to use due to the clumsiness, but the power is there now, and overall it's a well-balanced weapon. So yeah, that's a good change. Then some minor other changes. Now here's a change that got a bunch of confused, not just regarding Enlisted, but regarding many things, confused sweatlords highly butthurt, and it's the AVS buff. Why does a buff confuse players? Well, the AVS now has a very high fire rate, starting at 800. The AVT, which is almost the same weapon, still has its old fire rate starting at 600. Now, what does this mean? It means instead of having two guns that are almost identical, you now have the same gun, but with a fast fire rate and with a slow fire rate. Meaning you can now choose what you prefer, the fast fire rate or the slow fire rate. You literally get more choices, so you get more stuff than you had before, so you're richer now. Nice, that's how it works. What people don't understand is that like some people, some randoms got butthurt about, oh no, this is too fast now. Yeah, but you still have this. Like it's so simple, it's very simple. Yeah, like I also remember many people posting questions over the last months which BR5 Soviet rifle they should play, this or this, because basically everyone was confused because they were way too similar. And now they are finally different, and now you actually can choose what you want to play. And the fast firing one is unlocked first, which is the harder to use but overall stronger one. So it even means that you have to grind less than before, because now you just can unlock this and you can stop grinding rifles and grind other stuff instead. Yeah, for example, the silenced Ppsh, which is what I would do. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, very cool. Now here's the big advantage of very fast fire rates, even with small magazine sizes. You use the fast fire rate as a burst mode. You click once and you will release 3 to 4 bullets. This is literally built-in burst mode, but unlike normal burst mode, you can spray the whole magazine if you want, if you have too many enemies in front of you. So this is literally a plus. With weapons like these, it's not necessarily playable, because if you have a very precise finger, you actually can release 1 bullet at a time and not a burst, and it actually becomes an annoying feature, because you actually have to dose the speed of how fast you click. But with fast fire rates like this, you literally click and instantly unclick, and you have 3-4 bullets, and yeah, everything's fine. So yeah, this is a cool thing too. Then we got a few other adjustments. Now, bolt actions apparently seem to shoot more realistic. I didn't notice it with everyone, but I think I noticed it with the Mannlicher. I think the pulling of the bolt and so on actually is... Yep, I think this is this new? Let me know. I barely use the Mannlicher. But I think this is actually an improvement to what it was before. Also, the recoil apparently got reduced, because I don't feel any recoil at all, which is interesting. Let's try to do headshots. Yep, this feels very smooth. Damn, insane. Also, look at the damage. You get new damage effects when you shoot something. Very cool, very cool. Yep, very cool, yep. Yeah, like the graphic updates actually are even better than the game updates itself, because the game looks much better now, much better, as you're gonna see with the vehicles. Though just in 2 minutes, because first we also have the feature that you can change the nationality of your soldiers. For example, you can only do it with Germans, from Germans to Italians and back, and with Americans, from Americans to Britbonks and back. So if I have this dude, and I use my appearance change orders, for just 1 order, which is very cheap, I can make him Italian. Now I won't force this treatment on him, but, you can do. And if you look at, let's say, this American soldier, let's try this with him. We turn him into a Britbonk. Now he's called Christopher Adams, and he's got this face. Now look what happens. He got ugly. Yeah, this is what happens if you become a Britbonk. First your name changes to something strange, and you become ugly all of a sudden. But at least we have new face models, because I don't remember this face to be in the game. Yeah, I already did the same treatment with him, and I think this is an old face, but this is a new face, so yeah. Or maybe they get some faces that were, closed behind Premium and Event Squad, so yeah, interesting. Very interesting, so we could do this one more time. He's Bufford. I'm actually gonna keep Bufford, he's got a funny name. So yeah, you see, this is how it works. Now, yeah, for everyone who was too annoyed that he had to play Italians in the beginning of his German grind, you can turn them all into Germans now. And if you want to hear Britbonks trying to talk English, you can do it now, because I'm gonna turn quite a lot of dudes into Britbonks. And the funniest thing is, the American uniforms usually look much better than the British ones. For example, these are American ones, these are British. What you can do now is, since the uniforms depend on the squad, you can turn your American squads into British soldiers, and then, well, you will keep your American uniforms. So this is the trick, how you can get both. How you can get both. Whereas before you only had to pick one of the two extremes. Also, customization is now cheaper in terms of gold. Though customization is so insanely expensive if you buy it with gold, it's literally not worth it. I'm literally only will, it's completely illogical to buy it with gold. It's insanely expensive. Whereas these orders are, you get thrown them at you. Literally every event you play, every couple weeks, you get a couple dozen of them. So yeah, it's not worth to buy customizations with gold. Then regarding vehicles, well, here's the quick summary to save time. The American one, first of all, it's in a folder, so it's additional grind that you can save yourself. You much rather get the Pershings as fast as possible, or the heavy jumbos, but not this thing, because this thing, first of all, it's open top. Secondly, it has insanely weak armor for BR5. It could have been a BR4 tank. Yeah, it would have been a strong BR4 tank, but still fine. But the way it is, it's basically unplayable armor. A strong cannon, yes, but very little ammunition. So it's simply not really playable. And open top means at high BRs you will instantly get strafed, because every German plane has autocannons, 20mm, 30mm. The Japanese too. So yeah, this is basically not playable. Simply not playable. And many people suspected already that this will be a complete waste. Then the Jagdpanther. Well, this is sadly same slop, but you can't even save yourself the grind. If you want to go from Tiger to King Tiger, you literally have this thing in between now. So yeah, why is this not good? Well, first of all, there are two good things about it, and the rest is very bad. First of all, the cannon is the King Tiger cannon, so one of the strongest in the game. That's good. Then, it has this frontal plate, which despite only being allegedly 50mm, will bounce basically everything. Even shooting a King Tiger shell at it, if you play King Tiger with this for some reason, will not penetrate. But instead you can shoot into the machine gun port, or into the central area, or into this plate underneath, or into the tracks, and it will still deal enough damage. So yeah, like this thing has very high damage output, but it's still much less damage output than a King Tiger, because you're ridiculously inflexible. You can't just turn around and spray away at infantry. You will be easily ambushed by partisans, and most importantly, every plane will also, due to the lack of any proper armor, will easily penetrate you even with HMGs. So this thing is literally a sitting duck, and yes, it's the command version with the antennas, but you can't even use it, you can't even call artillery strikes with the radio man from these antennas. So yep, this is sadly much worse than people expected. There's literally no reason to use it, except for one, and here I'm going to show you the reason. Here's your King Tiger squad, and well, here you can play your King Tigers, and here's your Jagdpanther squad. Ta-da! So this is the big advantage. If you have these two squads, you can play a King Tiger and a Jagdpanther. But instead, you can also just play the, well, other King Tiger. Every player from before the merge likely has the squad. Players after the merge only, I don't know which one would they have. Like they will only have one. Let me see you. This should be theoretically the one with both King Tigers. Yeah, like there's a lot of chaos regarding. Yep. I guess every new player has this squad, and only players from before the merge have this. Well, let's put it this way. if you play, yeah, like this, the new Jagdpanther blocks the King Tigers. So this makes it completely unplayable. It's literally completely unplayable. If I was a new player, I would just play the Tiger E instead. Yeah, just play the Tiger E instead, or even better, play the Panther G instead, because it's actually in many situations stronger than the Tiger E even. And just grind until you get the King Tigers, because the Jagdpanther is simply way too weak and not worth it. Well, then, what's actually worth it, you get the Japanese planes, which, to make it also short, one is basically a Mustang equivalent. You get 2 heavy cannons, great flying performance, and 4 really good ways to shoot down enemy planes and also strafe the ground. So this is good. Exactly what the Japanese needed. And well, outside of the Key 100, you also get the N1K2J. I'm just going to call it NIK2. And this thing, well, it's arguably better than the Japanese jet, because you get even better flying characteristics than the BR3 plane, well, of course, but these are keeping up very well with BR5. Very high climb rate, very good turn rate, and also good to great speed. And 4 20mm cannons, meaning you shred everything on the ground. You can effectively strafe with your mini explosions, and you can also easily kill everything in the sky. And 2 rockets. Now, how good are these rockets? Well, simply said, they are very reliable against enemy tanks, because as long as you aim properly, and this means you aim at the diagonal lines in the lower left and lower right of your aiming circle, you will, if you release them very late, if you're close to the tank, you will basically always hit the tank. Like the first rocket is the left, the second one is the right. You will always hit the tank, and you will basically one-shot every tank. So exactly what Japan needed in order to deal with the overpowered American tanks and also planes. Overall, I will say this is much more reliable than the Kicker jet, because the Kicker jet barely deals with enemy planes. It has very little ammo. You need to get very close to the jet to actually start spraying, because otherwise you will waste all your ammunition, of which you barely have any, and your bomb is much worse than it looks. Despite being an 800 kilogram bomb, it barely hits properly. You will need to significantly slow down, which obviously loses all the advantages of a jet, and like the American tanks still can drive away from the bomb. So yeah, like these 2 Japanese planes are exactly what Japan needed. So then, some little buffs, some German tanks got heat shells, very good. Panzer IV F1. Now this should be a 2 tank. Panzer IV F2, this, where's the F1? Yep, yeah, be a 2 tank with heat. Yep, this could be basically the... It's almost as good as the Panzer IIIN from before the merge, one could say. Yeah, like roughly. So yeah, these heat shells very much welcome. Then the T-28 instead of shrapnel has better ammunition too. Yep, quite nice. Then the Japanese J2M3 also has rockets. How did I miss that? M2J3, where do that be? Oh, J2M3. Yeah, like these Japanese names are ridiculously confusing. Well, I don't see any changes. Yeah, literally the changes are... Okay, the changes are on the plane but not written here. We found the first bug. Now... Oh wait, no, these are still bombs. These are bombs, these are not rockets. Well, yep. Yeah. Type 5, number 6, mod 9 rockets. Yeah, these are the same rockets, which would make this plane actually... here's the problem. These planes are quite similar. Actually, this one has much better... Well, okay, this one turns better, this one flies faster. Like, these planes barely have any difference. Yeah, like this sounds like a little slop change. Overall, why make this plane so similar to this if you could just give it better bombs? And then you have different planes. And also the biggest problem overall, the Japanese have only fighter planes above BR3. This is the last BR3 plane. After that you only get fighters for BR4 and 5. Meaning you completely block your air force and you will always be behind against the American ones because you can only have one good plane in the sky. Unless you want to play BR3 slop with literally small machine guns in a BR5 match. So yeah, this is a ridiculous situation. The smart decision would have been give this plane heavy bombs and turn it into an attacker. This would have been a smart decision, but not what's going on here because this is still complete slop. And one of the reasons why I prefer the Soviets after this update, or why I like the Soviet improvement more than the Japanese, even though the Japanese received 3 buffs, the Soviets are still more fun to play because they received something very cool and nice, whereas the Japanese just received something that they needed but isn't too good. Now apparently this bike is also new, at least in the patch notes. It's a BR2 bike for some reason. Maybe that's a mistake because all these bikes were downranked to BR1. I guess another bug. But yeah, okay, premium bikes, nothing too special because bikes are more or less unplayable. I mean, they got buffed a couple of times, yeah, but I mean, they're good in the hands of experienced players who use them to build flanking rallies. This is the only purpose they have. Literally the only purpose. But instead of that, you can also just use paratroopers and build flanking rallies. So, yeah, like bikes are still not really that useful, but okay. Then a bunch of bombers and high BR got the ability for you to use all of their machine gunners, which is good. And some other details. So yeah. And very important, you can now, when you drop your fuel tanks from your planes, for example, this one, nope, it's not this one. Okay, let me find it. Well, event, yep, you see it works. If you use your event fire plane for the Americans and Japanese, these fuel tanks now have a larger area. Yeah, very good, because the fire was so hardcore nerfed over the last year. It, like, basically flamethrowers got unplayable, no matter which one. Basically all fire effects got unplayable. So yeah, finally now fire got buffed again. These are gonna be, well, actually playable, because you can use them as very good area denial. And since the time it takes to die from fire got almost halved, from 7 seconds down to 4.5, it actually means that soldiers won't have enough time to run away. So you can actually get kills with these, because ironically enough, you could drop 330 liters of this fuel on the ground and regularly get 1 or 2 kills, even if you dropped it straight on 10 or 15 enemy soldiers. This is how ridiculously nerfed it was. But yeah, now it finally will get some proper realism. Alright, then allegedly some customization got improved. Now let's okay, we can adjust the condition. Oh yep, this is, I guess, this is theoretically perfect. This is broken down, although the broken down has more contrast, making it look cooler. Then scale, yeah, barely does anything. And then rotation, okay, here there's no rotation. Now let's see, what if I use plants? Can I do the same with them? Because this is actually what matters. Okay, first, if I want to put it here, well, now, no, I can't make the plant bigger. Yep, yeah, I can only make the main camouflage. I can only change the main camouflage. Yeah, well, I hoped a lot that you can make bushes bigger so they can actually cover more, but yeah, well, okay, not too, yeah, this is not too exciting, sadly. And yeah, regarding the graphics, well, many graphical improvements. First of all, if you see the shots at the sky, especially with these bomber rates, you see cool effects. Look at these. Before, all you got was these little black powder, smoke powder stuff. Now you actually get cool explosions in the sky. Muzzle flashes look better. If you shoot tanks, the muzzle brake in the tank actually seems to have a proper effect. Either it's muzzle brake dependent, or it is... Well, this is actually too long. Let's take a... Yeah. Or it literally just shoots to the two sides and one to the front. I'm not quite sure, and it's also not described by Gaijin, how realistic they did it, but at least it is better, much better than before, because now you have some realism when you shoot your tank and it looks much better. So yeah, this is another good win, another good improvement. Then a bunch of sounds got improved, especially when stuff ricochets or hits something. Yeah, very good. If you hit tires, you get a better effect, a better sound effect. Very nice, because there's nothing more unrealistic than shooting at something like a Puma and not hitting the air pressure drop off. Yeah, so yeah, now this is solved too. And of course, the new Wald Map. Now what about this? Well, this is the biggest improvement. Out of this update, for me personally, the only things I'm excited for are the new map, the Soviet silenced gun, because it's cool and fun. And, well, the new, a few changes, a few life of quality changes, or quality of life, for that who didn't get the pun. So, you can now like and dislike some maps. And this is going to increase the chance for you to get the map, and the red thumbs down is going to decrease the chance for you to get the map. Now, this isn't 100% blocking, but still good, very good. Now let's see how good exactly, because first of all, let's look at the Pacific Front. You can click at the three fronts. You have Western Front, Eastern Front, Pacific Front. So Gaijin doesn't use the campaign names anymore. They just throw everything from the east together as Eastern, everything from the west as Western, and Pacific. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense, because why should you separate Stalingrad from Moscow, from Brezhnev, stuff like that? Yeah, so yeah, makes sense. But here's the problem. These numbers are very small. Very small. If you look at Pacific, you can either select a few game modes. Yeah. Keep in mind you cannot ban a whole game mode like Conquest. Because here's the problem. Let's say you don't like Conquest. You have 5 different Conquest maps. But you only get 2 maps that you can, well, dislike. Like this amount needs to be increased hardcore. Or, to make it even better, let the player choose as many as he wants. Because this is complete slop. If you don't like Conquest, okay, let's make it very safe. Everyone hates Assault. Alright, no Assault. Good. Now many people hate Destruction. Oh, look how much Destruction you have. We can only remove 1 destruction, and now you can't remove any conquest, you can't remove any confrontation, and you can't remove any invasion. And if you think, oh, but this is just because there are 2, okay, let's go to the east. If we go look at all maps, yeah, let's take a look. 4, oh my god. This is around 72, 75, 73, yeah, over 70 maps. There are over 70 maps in the east, and I can only like 9 of them, and I can only dislike 6 of them. But, sorry, in the east, over 70, and I can only like 6 and only dislike 4. This is like, which bum came up with these numbers? Definitely one that doesn't play the game. Because if you look at Assault, you have a low, like worst game mode in the game. You have 7. You have 7 Assault. Like you can't even ban the worst game mode. Now, okay, like how many conquests do you have? Look at this and Destruction. What the hell? What the hell? Yeah. So come on. Here's the funny thing. Even if you just want to save yourself from the horrible. Like you can't, for example, remove all the Stalingrad slop. Doesn't work. You only have 4. Can we save ourselves from the tractor factory? Well, well, spoiler alert, we can't, but we can calculate in detail. We can remove tractor conquest. Then no tractor assault, alright. Then tractor destruction, also removed. And now, I don't think that, oh, there's a tractor, of course there's a tractor confrontation, because why not make one of the most hated maps in the game everywhere available? And regarding invasion, now it comes, here it comes. Regarding invasion, once again, okay. Oh, look at this. Ironically enough, if you want to remove this one horrible map, we have to spend all of our 4 dislikes, and now we have to play all the other slop. Yeah, all the other slop. We have to play all the conquest slop, all the assault slop, all the destruction slop. Yes, like this system, when I originally made, like 2 days ago, I think, a preview, I literally said, whether it works and whether it's good or not depends on the amount of likes you get and dislikes. This is just ridiculous. And we don't even need to discuss about what would be a good number. Gaijin just needs to give players any number they want. Yeah, just give them any number they want, or make it a very big number, like make it 25 and 25. That's it. But not this slop. Not that. This is ridiculous. Like yeah, I tried to come up with a good system for the West, and even, yeah, like here's the thing. Players still with this new system will have to pick maps by leaving bad maps, because this doesn't save the players from the map. First of all, these dislikes don't give you 100% protection. This is already bad. But then you can even only protect yourself from a few bad maps. But the game is of way too many bad maps. So yeah, this system officially is fail. This is a complete fail. It needs significant improvement. Exactly the improvement I just explained. Now there's another little detail. When you try to queue for a new game, you can click on Group as Recruiting. And this means that people can join your group. So yeah, this is now, since this is the test server, you literally can't do anything because basically no one's using it. Yeah, so, but in normal games this will work, I guess, quite well. Though once again, it will likely override your map preferences, because obviously 4 players in the map or even 2 players in a group won't have the same preferences likely. Meaning, well, I guess obviously the only, like, the leader of the group will have his preferences and the others won't have their preferences active. Yeah, okay, yeah. Not that good, yeah. Not that good. Also, console players got additional rotational aim assist, so better aim assist for them. Nice. And of course, the Kumas got their wishes fulfilled. If you leave a game, you get a penalty. Now let's do this. Let's do this. We jump into a game, and then the video will be over. And hopefully we connect to a battle, because yeah, this test server is so empty. Basically, no one is here that you even have to wait for a long time. Now, here's by the way, the short summary, as I already also said in the previous video. The way to like, if you want to solve a problem, address the reasons, not the symptoms. Address the causes, not the symptoms. I know most people in 2025 are dumb, low monkey IQ, but especially the ones who constantly make demands on the internet instead of doing actually good stuff in real life. But come on, like, this is just so low IQ, it's not even funny. If people can't even, like, there will be so many complaints about this new map picking system being complete and utter ass, people still will have to, this is also an issue. We got stuck. Alright, let's wait, I'm gonna finish the sentence. People still will have to vote for their maps that they like and they don't like by just leaving maps. This, by the way, is something that happens to some people often. I noticed many people, depending on their computer, have different bugs. For example, many bugs people talk about I never see, but I see this bug that other players rarely see. For example, I'm stuck now. Guess what? If we were in a group, 4-player group, and we wanted to play together or against each other, I would have to leave now because I will never get into this game. Now, yeah, great. Okay, apparently my booster that didn't get... I didn't get a deserter penalty, my booster is still there, but still, we wouldn't play in a group together. Now, meaning either the other 3 had to leave, meaning they get the Kuma penalty, or I have to wait. Yeah, come on. Like, do you think new players who want to play with friends and help each other grind the game will like something like this? Like, the whole system doesn't work. Like, it's just fucking doesn't work. What instead should be done is give players a plus 20 or plus 25% staying incentive. Like, instead of penalties, which only Kumas of Monkey IQs like, give them completion incentives, completion prizes. Meaning if a player finishes a game until the end, he gets a plus 25 or plus 20% bonus. This is exactly how Hell Let Loose is doing it. And guess what? People are staying. I'm a quite new player there. When I see a game is ass, when I think, okay, I'm midway into the game, I will actually stay in the game so I can get the bonus. But if I was getting a penalty, I would say, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care about your penalties, I won't waste my time, yeah? You need to give people incentives and not penalize them. Also, let's quickly... You see, this is how the test server is. You literally have 1 versus 1 and the rest will be bots. So yeah, I'm gonna just shoot quickly some stuff. Throw some grenades so you see the fire attacks. Hopefully shoot these things on the map that are usable. And then we're done. Okay, first of all, how does this look? Very nice, very nice. Keep in mind I have none of my settings on the test server, so my graphics look uglier than they are in normal games. Also my controls are off, so I don't really want to play because I can't properly aim, I can't properly do anything. But there will be that one player, so... Let's do the first attack. Alright, this looks good. AI allegedly got improved too. Alright, 3 kills. Oh my god. I wanted to lie down on the ground, but I couldn't. Alright, well... This looks quite good. Yep, the bots don't react to you. Like if you kill the main soldier, if you kill the soldier controlled by the player, the bots won't kill you if you use the silenced weapon. Alright. Well, everyone dead. Simple as... yes. Yep, you see, this is why I'm gonna play lots of Soviets now. And Germans, but yeah, like... If you want to enjoy new stuff, you basically have to play Soviets. Because the Germans, well, got just slopped, nothing special. But, yeah, well, oh, let's put it this way. You get the new commando squad for the Germans, yep. But if you don't get that for yourself, you have to play this weapon, and this weapon is very fun. Yeah, like silenced weapons, a big game for the game. A big game for the game because this is just purely fun. Yep. Yep. Alright. Okay, let me know what you think and what your opinions are and what you wish, because you can still spam your ideas in Reddit. Forget about the forum, no one cares about it, but spam your ideas into Reddit, what you want to be improved, what you want to be added, because there's still lots of time to adjust it, and Gaijin will likely listen to you, because Gaijin itself knows this update is quite empty. So people need reasons to be excited about, and you can force Gaijin to give you something to be excited about. Alright? Let's get the deserter penalty because of Kumas. Yep, okay, by the way, there already is a deserter penalty in the game. You get, if you leave the game, you only get 70% of the experience. And you don't get all the bonuses in the end. So you literally already have a significant deserter penalty. These 20% are literally just well, they're psychologically. Yeah, they're psychologically there, so the Kumas stop demanding more slop into the game. But here, and here we see, oh no, minus 20. How bad of us. Okay, until soon. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow, playing normal games again. And next week, hopefully, if we're lucky, on Monday the news update comes out, I'm gonna do some very, very nice streams with this new map, because this map is gonna be absolute fire. Alright, until soon, goodbye.